Hello, a very good afternoon and welcome to another episode right here on Jasper Media. So on this episode, we're looking at Ghana's Tier 2 pension scheme. And over the week, we've been engaging experts on the subject matter. But today, on this episode, we are sharing our individual perspectives. My name is Raymond Ariaga.
Emmanuel Yao Abankwa.
Patricia Money.
And Eunice Annan.
So I must say, Eunice Annan is a colleague of ours, and so she is joining us to also share some perspectives on the subject. Guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, so Emmanuel,
Yeah.
we've been having this conversation about pension tier 2 so far. What do you have to say on this subject matter?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. When we're talking about the pension tier 2, when we're talking about pension itself, it's into three levels. We have the pension tier 1, pension tier 2, and pension tier 3. Where the pension tier 1, it is mandatory, but then it's government owned.
Yeah, so
but when
it's being managed by the government.
managed by the
Okay,
government.
all right, sure.
And when we come to the pension 2 tier scheme,
The tier
it
2,
is
yeah.
managed privately by individuals, and it's also mandatory. But when we look at the pension tier 3 scheme, it's also voluntary,
Yeah.
but also privately managed.
Yeah.
So the pension tier 2 scheme, it's managed by individuals, and then 5.5% of your salary
Yeah,
is
that's
being
your
taken.
basic
yeah,
salary.
Your basic salary
Sure.
is being taken out of as
Government.
compared to the tier 1 pension scheme, where 13.5% is being
of your
taken.
basic salary
Yes,
is being taken,
is
alright.
being taken.
Sure,
So when
alright.
we look at it, tier 2 pension scheme,
It's a must.
it's a must.
Alright,
and it's
so-
doing more good.
Absolutely.
People.
All right, so Pat, welcome.
Thank you.
So what's your
Ray.
take on this tier 2 pension scheme?
So it's been an educational journey so
Okay.
far. There
Wow.
were so many things I did not put into consideration
Okay.
as a contributor of SNETs, both in tier 1 and tier 2. Along the line, the experts we spoke to gave us hints about the number of companies that
Madam
are...
Nanekua.
Madam Nanekua, yes,
Yeah.
at the NPRA.
Yeah.
Indicated the number of companies that are currently registered in Ghana who are trustees of these contributions.
Absolutely.
And I was surprised to know out of all the number of insurance companies that I thought were all sort of in the scheme to control trust contributions.
Yeah.
It's only 29 companies at the moment, which
Yes.
we hope in future more companies will come on board. So yes, it's been an educational journey where we were told about some challenges facing the NPRA in getting people to play their citizenry roles in handling such contributional schemes. So it's been a very fruitful journey so far.
All right, so that's my colleagues. I'm sharing some insights here on the Ghana's pension tier 2 scheme. Now, my colleague Eunice, who is just joining us in studio for the first time. Eunice, hi, welcome.
Hello, Ray.
So, yeah, we've been talking about pension tier 2. Do you have any insight to share with us?
Well, people have this perception that unless you get to a certain age before you can start paying pension or before enrolling on the project or the scheme.
Yeah.
But what I have to say is, so long as or as long as you start working,
Yeah.
and you are getting paid at the end of each month,
Yeah.
you can start paying your SNET. Because when you get to your old age, you won't have the strength that you have
Absolutely.
now
Yeah.
to be working.
Yeah.
So if you enroll now, when you get to that stage, at least you have something to rely on, rather than becoming the burden on your family members, your children, and what have you.
Absolutely, I think even this point resonates very well, because when we had engagement with the NPRA official, Madam Nanekua, she made mention it that people go on pension and like they live a very poor life. But when you compare that to Europe, people go on pension and it's like
Still enjoying.
they are now enjoying good money. She made reference to the late Queen Elizabeth. Look at how long she survived or lived before passing on. But here, people go on pension and even paracetamol, 5 cedis, even
can't
3
afford.
cedis, they can't even afford. I mean, and you see, sometimes we feel like because when we are young, we don't plan towards the future. And you see, pension is something that I think personally, it will catch up on everyone, old age. It will catch up on everyone. So once we are getting some monies, we are making some small incomes, of course, we should make pension a priority. Or Pat, what do you think?
Oh yes, preparing for pension is something that as an individual, that should be one of your priorities in life, aside looking at the material gains you have. Financial stability is something we really have to look out for in the retirement age, yes. Because most of the time, our parents, have this bold belief in us that when they grow to a certain age, children are responsible to take care of them, which unfortunately, in as much as I would love to take care of my parents, I still think they should have their own financial, responsibility. Yes, because I cannot be taking care of my kids who are my parents' next generation, then come and carry on my predecessors and my successors' responsibility on top. I think that is so much for us to bear. At the end of the day, our parents will look at us and be comparing us to other parents who have a financial streamline. Because at the end of the day, yes, my mother will be sick. I need to take care of her at the hospital. But looking at the developed countries, old age is one of the good investments, industry abroad, whereas there are a lot of aged rehabilitation centers, which I think these people in the aged centers took plans into consideration, where at their youthful stage, they believe that they need to prepare and they do not become a permanent dependent on their children. So yes, as Ghanaians, taking our pension into consideration, not just the rent. What if by 40 years your building is dilapidated? How much are you coming to charge on rent? So yes, our parents, we encourage them sort of to also take the burden off us at some point.
All right.
Yes.
So Emmanuel, have you at a point ever thought why people don't feel like I'm signing up to pension policies? Have you at a point has that thought ever even come across in your mind?
Yeah. Okay, so the reason why people sometimes do not want to enroll in such activities, something like the pension scheme, is because of things that has happened in the past.
Okay.
Let's look at Men's Gold, where people's monies were being taken from them and they didn't get access to their monies anymore and stuff. So people have this perception that if I'm putting my money in some activities or investments, some time could come that I could lose it. But with NPRA, National Pensions Regulatory Authority, monies of individuals are being kept and they are safe with them. So I would like to entreat everyone that the thing of the past is no more. So let's all enroll in the pension scheme to enjoy life in the future.
Yes, you see, and if like what you've just said, also has sent a certain message, has just reminded me of something. You see, because of the Ponzi scheme that are out there, the trust level is down. And so right now, when you are giving evidence that, I've signed up to a pension policy and I'm enjoying, people think that maybe they've given you money to say those things. And so we need to psych our mind up and realize that, look, Charlie, the future, you see, one thing about that, you see, the most painful thing is that sometimes when you walk on the street of Accra, you see people in their 60s, 70s, they are picking rubbers to go and sell to people, and some of them will be begging for money. So sometimes when I see them, I ask myself, wow, so is this how I will also end one day if I don't plan not very well? Because the accounts have been saying that, if you are young, you have the strength. If you don't have any investment, definitely you can do something to feed. But where the body becomes weak, how are you going to struggle to get something to eat? That is the message that we as young people should be having, engaging in such conversations. Eugenius, what do you think?
Okay, well, with what you guys have said so far, just to add up a little to it, in as much as we are looking at pension, paying something to support you when you get old, let's also look at the next of kin aspect to it. Because there's been situations where people get old, they die, and then their money just disappears. Like, we don't know what happens. And then their relatives and stuff now start questioning themselves. I learned my father was paying sleep. I learned my mother was paying sleep. So who is the next of kin? Who has the right to go for that money? Then they'll go to the company to go and ask for it, and then they will be told, your father did not use any of you as his or a next of kin. And then we are like, How?
yes.
So where will
This
where will all
serious,
the
yeah.
money go to? So in
Yeah.
as much as we are looking at it, let's also be careful who we use as our next of kin.
All right, guys, thank you so much. This has been a very insightful conversation that we've been having on Jasper Media. We hope you out there, you've enjoyed this conversation. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining in this discussion. Patricia, thank you so much. Eunice,
Thank you for
All right.
having me here.
sure. And I'm Raymond Rex Ariaga, and this is how we wrap up on today's episode on Jasper Media. Thanks for watching, and see you the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.